Hi, this is what you're looking at. Today's video is the airsoft gun review of the ICS mp5a2. Hope you enjoy the video. Okay, to start off here with some background, the ICS mp5a2 is a replica of the Heckler & Koch mp5a2 or HK5a2. It uses a 9x19mm cartridge and standard magazine capacity is 30 rounds, but they also come in 10, 15, and 20. Standard fire selector switch on the real gun will go from safe to semi to burst mode to fully automatic. On the airsoft version, you got safe, semi-automatic, and fully automatic. As since on this gun, what metal is on this is metal on the real gun. Weight is pretty much proportional here. Upper receiver is metal. Your front and rear sights are metal. Your flash hider is metal. Your magazine is metal. Your lower receiver in real life would be polymer. In this case, it's a nylon fiber ABS plastic, including the stock and the handguard, which are the nylon fiber / ABS plastic. With this going into measure, this gun weighs in about 4 to 5 pounds. And that depends on BBs in the mag or not, which mag you're using, and what type of battery you're using this gun. Either it is a small or large type battery. And since this is the A2 version, that means it has a full stock and a standard flash hider, which means no suppressor. With having a full stock, that means the gun is wired to the back. That's going to be 99% of the time. The back piece comes off right here. This is rubberized. It stays in there really nice, so you don't have to worry about it falling off. This gun has a large type connector here in the back, and currently I'm using what I got with the gun, which is a 7.2 volt 1900 milliamp battery. Okay, moving on from that, magazine capacity is 200 rounds. In the real steel version it would be 30, but in this case it's 200. At least it's metal. The magazine seems to be of good quality, but there is some shaking, and when it goes in the mag well, there is lots of shaking, but at least it stays there. Okay, moving on to sling mounts here. They are all located on the left side of the gun, so that hinders this gun from being fully ambidextrous. But your 3 sling points are here on the stock, one right here in the middle by the magazine well, and the one right here in the front by your front sight. Moving on to the other side of the gun, as you see, both sides have the fire selector switch functioning on both sides. So at least this adds some ambidextrous ability to this gun, including the magazine release. As since it's on the bottom, you can use that as a left-handed or right-handed shooter. If you prefer using this like an M4, there's also a magazine release here on the side. So you can push either that one or this one right here. I prefer the one on the bottom though because it's much easier to get used to using. Okay, moving on to the sights here. The front sight is full metal, not adjustable in any way. Really good quality though, just like you expect from any MP5 front sight. They usually all come full metal. Moving on to the rear sight, this is full metal. I prefer using the blade rear sight. There is 4 different ones. Unfortunately, the other 3 are all the same size peep sights, so I prefer just to use the blade sight because it gives you more field of view while aiming down at an enemy. Okay, moving on, there's really no trades to this gun. I'm guessing that this is probably an 07 or 08 version. But as you see, the fire selector modes right here, they're all highlighted, so that's pretty nice. You got safe, semi, and fully auto. Same for the other side, safe, semi, and fully auto. This is one con to the gun though, but this is pretty common among this type of MP5 fire selector switch. As you see, it's not really, it takes some use to get into, but it's really not decisive. So you kind of have to get used to that. But if you get the other version with like my classic Army, it is much more decisive and you can hear when it's in place. And as you see, it's not even going all the way pointing at the fully automatic. You see that semi is in between and it's really loose. But it doesn't affect the firing of the gun, at least not yet. So I'll have to update you on that in the future. The quality of the plastic on this gun is fairly good. As I said, I can't decide if it's an ABS plastic or a nylon fiber, especially with this lower receiver. Nice and tough, feels really good. There's grooves right here, right here, and right here. It's meant to fit for your hand. Since this is based off a Heckler & Koch gun, I wouldn't expect anything less. The trigger guard, since it is part of the low receiver, it is plastic, but as I said, really good plastic. Trigger is metal. Magazine release is metal. As for the other one, all sling points are metal. Moving on to the stock, since this is the same plastic, it is textured though. Feels really good, and that's without a battery in there. So I'm pretty confident that this stock will never break. Moving on up to the front here, the front handguard, as I've probably already mentioned, same textured, it feels really good, but I wouldn't rate the externals on this gun the best. Okay, moving on to mounting ability here, we have these two grooves right here on top of the gun that are used to put the MP5 mount on. Luckily, this ICS version does fit it, unlike my Classic Army, so that's always a pro, being able to put optics if you choose to do so. Moving on, as you see right here, you got your breech or your port, and then coming over here, you got your dummy bolt. It has no function. On a couple of different MP5s, you open this up, and you would see the hop up on the inside of the gun. In this case, it's not there. This is just part of the upper receiver as part of the metal body. It doesn't open up at all. So it lets go of some of the realism, and it's kind of a con. Moving on here to the other side, I don't prefer this type of hop up for MP5s. I like it when it's inside the breech. So having it on the outside is kind of a con, because when you shoot, it tends to move around either way. So besides that though, this gun's really good and really great for CQB. Okay, moving on to a rate of fire demonstration here. Keep it account, this is using a large type 7.2 volt 1900 milliamp battery, probably 3/4 of the way charged. So yeah, it does kind of sound dead, but that's with a 7.2 volt battery. It works though, gets decent range out of this gun, probably about 125 feet. I would say maybe 130 feet, and that's with adjusting the hop up. So really good gun. In conclusion here, for CQB, I'm going to give this gun a 7 out of 10. The internals aren't the greatest. They could be better. The externals are okay, but they could be better. But as I said though, I got this gun for 90 bucks. If you want to get this gun brand new though, it's available on pretty much any airsoft website, and you can get it between 200 and 250 bucks. This has been a What You Looking At production. Make sure you subscribe, comment, rate, and request. This is What You're Looking At. I'm out.